For us.
For us.
We've ridden this Salsa Redpoint before.
That's true.
Yeah.
We have.
This was the first day. We kind of rode it. Maybe its intended purpose, like just smashing out trail laps, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting bike.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think as your opinion about this bike? I know we both really liked the bike when we rode it earlier in the year in Arizona.
Yeah, and in fact, I chose it as my dream build for our December Editor's Choice issue as well, because it was a bike that I rode and then sort of couldn't forget. I rode a bunch of bikes in between it, and then I was like, man, I really like that Redpoint. I want to ride that again.
Mm-hmm. Different build than you rode though, the GX build on this one now.
Yeah. My biggest, I'm gonna just start with my the things I didn't like. I found that the handlebar width made the bike feel sort of pedestrian.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Because I rode it with much wider bars, and I built my dream build with much wider bars, and it's like much more of a ripper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that was the first thing I thought. Like, really, on a 19.5, why are we riding these 750 bars?
Not even 760. Like 760 is like, okay, that's kind of a common number.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. But 750 seems intentionally narrow.
Totally.
When you put a wider bar on it, Travis, since you haven't ridden it with one, it freaking, that bike rips.
I'm going to need to do that. Because man, I was not convinced. Like I rode this thing, and so it's 150 rear, 150 front, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It did not feel like a 150 mil bike to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I like there are a lot of 140 mil bikes were riding on this test, and it didn't feel any plusher than those. If I were an adventure rider and I wanted something that had some more forgiving numbers on it, you know, but was still light and easy to move around, but I was going to be out there for days and days, like this thing would be rad.
Yeah, and it was really rad, especially for the trip that we went on. We went on the Arizona Trail, which is like chunky. I mean, it's just a big mess, right? Like it's natural, challenging terrain with big, huge stuff on it. And we rode it on Mount Lemmon, which is another just like super technical mountain. And then here at Kohler in Northwest Arkansas, the trail we were riding it on has all these, you know, it has like flow into these chunky sections, right? And yeah, I mean, for a bike that's a 150 front and rear, it definitely didn't feel as all mountainy as some of the other bikes in this category, right? We have it in the long travel category, but you know, it's not really trying to be an all mountain bike. It's trying to be a long travel trail bike, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at the numbers, you talk to the Salsa guys, and they're not like, oh, this is an enduro race bike. It's a trail bike. It's fully intentioned to be a trail bike.
For me, it rode like a trail bike.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider it in that same category as some of those kind of longer, lower, slacker bikes. You know, it felt like just a really capable trail bike to me.
Yep.
Yeah, $4,600 for this thing, and a GX1 by carbon frame. I liked that Yari fork.
I was just gonna ask about that. What do you guys think of the Yari fork?
I dug it. Like it's like
Pretty solid for a fork that you look at it, you're like, ooh, Yari, who's that?
Yeah, but I mean, like RockShox intended this fork, right, to be like a sort of a pike chassis.
Yeah.
But with like the motion control damper instead of the charger, the more higher end charger damper that's in the Pike, right? So it's sort of like that, right? It's like the revelation of the bigger bike category.
You know, an interesting thing about this bike, they mentioned it's compatible with 26 plus.
Yeah.
I mean, is that even a thing?
26 ain't dead, bro.
I know. Just bigger.
Yeah, you can run that wheel size if you want to.
And then I think that's very salsa, like just kind of finding those little niche ways to position their bikes and their products, you know? So,
yeah.
I don't know, pretty interesting.
What an interesting bike.
Yeah.
Like we all have kind of different takes on it.
Totally.
Yeah. And I think people should definitely go out and ride this thing because, you know, I mean, it's probably a little bit of a polarizing bike, but man, if you love it, you're going to really love it.
Kind of like an IPA.
Kind of like an IPA, yeah. Thanks for Bike Rack Brewing Co. to supplying us with all this delicious beer. Cheers, guys.
For sure.
Yeah.